You walk into IKEA for a spoon and leave with a car full of essentials. That is not an accident. In the next minutes, you will see the psychology that quietly nudges you to spend more and the simple rules that keep your money in your pocket. There is no secret conspiracy, only design. The store layout narrows your choices, the pricing reshapes your comparisons, and the timing of each section pushes you toward a comfortable yes. Once you see the map, you stop being carried by it and start choosing. From the entrance, you are guided into a one-way loop. The big decision to buy or not buy becomes a softer decision between this or that. When there are fewer exits, there are fewer moments to bail. Each staged room tells a small story. You see a bedroom, a tiny apartment, a kitchen that looks calm and complete. Your brain imagines ownership. When something already feels like yours, refusing it feels like losing something. That feeling is created on purpose long before you reach the checkout. You may notice there are shortcuts back to the main path, but they are easy to miss. That is by design. The longer you stay inside, the more committed you feel, and the easier it becomes to justify adding one more little thing to the cart. Time spent becomes a reason to keep moving forward. Lighting, gentle music, and perfect vignettes pull you out of task mode and into browsing mode. In browsing mode, you are not hunting a single item anymore. You are exploring. Exploration is where impulse choices feel like discoveries, not decisions. You begin to feel that the store is telling you a story, and your cart is just catching up to the plot. After dozens of nicely arranged rooms, your brain gets tired. That is decision fatigue. Tired brains reach for defaults because defaults are safe. IKEA places matched sets, bundles, and recommended tags right where fatigue hits. The easiest option becomes yes. The famous effect of feeling proud of something you assembled yourself starts even before you build anything. The room setups make you picture the end result at home, and a small attachment is formed simply by imagining it. Now the prices start to work on you. The first price you see becomes your anchor. If the first sofa costs a lot, the next one that is significantly cheaper feels like a smart buy, even if you never planned to buy any sofa today. Place 3 versions side by side, and one is a decoy that is intentionally poor value. The middle option begins to feel like the reasonable choice. You are not only choosing furniture, you are choosing comparisons, and comparisons can be steered. Small details do heavy lifting. Round numbers feel friendlier. Big fonts on a few hero items make the whole area feel affordable. Bundles create a sense of logic. The lamp wants bulbs, maybe a smart plug, maybe a side table to complete the look. None of those are big decisions on their own, but the cart grows because each addition feels minor compared to the imagined complete room. After dreaming in the showroom, you step into the marketplace. Now you see plates, plants, frames, organizers, tools. Your brain wants closure. You already chose the big things, and these little things complete the picture in your head. Low prices lower your defenses. €2 here, €4 there, under 5 again and again. Small does not stay small when you multiply it by many. This section is engineered for basket growth through a series of tiny, comfortable yeses. Before the flat pack warehouse, there is a corridor of textiles and add-ons that are genuinely useful. Towels, candles, storage boxes, utensils. They are cheap, practical, and easy to justify. You are almost done, so you grab quickly. The sense of nearing the finish line speeds up decisions and short-circuits second thoughts. Even the cafeteria is part of the system. Cheap food resets the mood, calms families, and extends time inside. More time in store correlates with more spend because a relaxed shopper moves slower and sees more. When energy and patience return, so does the willingness to browse just a bit longer. Right before the cashiers, there is one more set of bins with batteries, bags, and snacks. You are in completion mode. One small item seems harmless, and it satisfies the urge to finish the trip on a simple yes. The last meter is paved with easy decisions because endings influence how we remember the whole experience. Scarcity signs whisper that something is new or limited, and that nudges urgency. Seeing other people gather around an item creates social proof. If others like it, it must be good. There is also the power of touch. The longer you hold a thing, the more you value it. Displays invite your hands for a reason. Contact creates commitment, and commitment creates purchases that feel personal. So how do you keep control without turning every visit into a battle of willpower? You use a plan that is simpler than the store. Start with a 3-item micro-list on your phone. Name the exact 3 things you will allow yourself to buy. Halfway through the trip, check that list. If something is not on it, let it wait for 48 hours. You are not saying never, only not today. When you feel trapped in the loop, take the shortcuts back to the main path. Less time inside means fewer default choices. Before you say yes to a bigger item, do a single anchor check on your phone. Look at one competitor price outside the store. If your sense of value collapses when you see another price, that was anchoring talking, not quality. Count small items in groups of 5 and say the total aloud. 10 little things around €5 each becomes €50 very quickly. Hearing the sum out loud breaks the spell of just one more. Touch later and decide better. Look first and only take an item in your hands when you are already sure. If you need to hold it to want it, there is a good chance it is a want rather than a need. Eat after you shop, not before. A meal at the start keeps you inside longer, and longer trips lead to larger bills. Flip the order and set a simple timer for the visit. When the timer rings, you head to checkout. If you are still thinking about a bigger item tomorrow, take a photo of the tag today and leave. Desire that survives a night is real. Desire that fades overnight belong to the store, not to you. Put all of this together and the pattern becomes clear. The store is a guided tour that shrinks your choices to comfortable yeses. The rooms spark a feeling of ownership. The price tags reshape your comparisons. The marketplace gives you a way to finish the dream with small add-ons. The food keeps you going. The exit invites one last quick reward. None of these steps force you to buy. They simply make buying the path of least resistance. Once you see the map, you hold the pen. Keep your list short and specific. Use the shortcuts. Check one outside price before committing. Count the cheap things in 5s. Touch last. Eat after. Photograph and pause for a day on anything big. With a plan this simple, the cart becomes intentional instead of automatic. If this helped you keep your money where it belongs, share it with a friend who only needed a spoon. Tell me which store to decode next, and I will map the psychology so you walk in with a plan and walk out with exactly what you meant to buy. There is one more layer most shoppers miss: scale. Showrooms are built with wider aisles, high ceilings, and careful camera lenses in the signage. Sofas and tables feel smaller than they are. At home, rooms feel tighter. Before committing to any big piece, picture it at home with real space, not showroom space. Use a quick mental check. If a room display looks calm with lots of air around the furniture, your home will not have that extra air. Assume you will lose at least a hand's width around each side once it is in your space. Staging also compresses categories. Small side tables are paired with slim lamps and tiny plants so everything feels balanced. Mix those with your larger lamp or thicker rug at home and the scale breaks. Match like with like. If the showroom nightstand looks delicate, ask whether your real lamp will dwarf it. If yes, you will replace more than one item to make it work, and the true cost rises. Measurements beat impressions. If you did not bring a tape measure, use your phone, your palm span, your shoe length, your forearm. Count those across the seat, the tabletop, the shelf. Convert when you get to the warehouse. If you cannot estimate within a few centimeters, photograph the tag and wait. Precision saves returns, and returns cost time and future impulse buys when you come back. Bags and carts change perception. The big yellow bag makes small things look smaller and cheaper. A flat cart makes heavy boxes feel manageable. Shrink the container and spending shrinks with it. Carry a hand basket for smalls, not the giant bag. Put a heavy flat pack on the cart only after you have done the anchor check against one outside price and one measurement check against your space. The as-is corner plays on scarcity and relief. You think you found the same item for less, so you rush. Slow down. Ask 3 questions. Would I want this at full price? Is the flaw acceptable in my real lighting? And can I transport it safely today? If any answer is no, the discount is a detour, not a win. Membership pricing reframes value by showing a crossed-out higher price next to a member price. The lower number is still an anchor. If you were not going to buy the item without the program did not save you money. Join for items you already plan to buy, not to justify new wants. The self-serve warehouse can feel like the final sprint, which is exactly why mistakes happen there. Racks and bins are designed for speed. Before you lift a box, do a 30-second review. Is this the exact article number and finish? How many boxes does this require? And will it fit through my door and up my stairs? If the answer to any of those is guesswork, pause and verify. One wrong finish equals a repeat trip, which equals more impulse items next time. Framing affects payment too. Contactless makes spending feel weightless. Add a little friction on purpose. Decide a ceiling before you enter and use a method that forces you to notice crossing it. If you prefer card, read the total out loud and compare it to your ceiling before you tap. If that feels awkward, it is working. Companions change carts. Shopping with someone who is enthusiastic amplifies yeses. Decide roles at the door. One person is the list keeper who asks, "Is this on the list or replacing something on the list?" The other person is the tester who tries drawers, measures, and checks tags. Split enthusiasm and verification, so impulse needs 2 votes. Online and in-store can work together. If you already know the big item, consider click and collect for that item and only walk the marketplace for the smalls on your micro list. Or do the opposite. Walk the showroom for inspiration, snap tags, and order at home the next day for delivery. Either way reduces the number of decisions under showroom pressure. Use a mid-trip audit to prevent drift. When you hit the marketplace entrance, stop for 1 minute. Count what is in the cart, total the smalls in groups of 5, and ask one question for each item. If I could not buy this here, would I go to another store or site to get it today? If no, it is convenience, not need. Watch for language that hides real choices. Words like new, limited, curated, and essential are cues, not facts. Translate them. New means recently arrived, not required. Limited means fewer units, not better. Curated means selected by someone else, not selected for you. Essential means commonly bought, not essential to your life. Lighting and color shift mood. Warm pools of light make wood feel richer and textiles softer. In cooler lighting at home, tone and texture may change. If possible, step with the item to a different lighting zone and look again. If it only looks good under the store's exact lighting, it will disappoint in your space. Add one last circuit breaker at the exit. Remove 3 items you like the least. Do it every time, even if you love your cart. The goal is not to punish yourself, but to force a ranking. When you rank, you notice the true priorities. Most shoppers never see the ranking. They remember only the flow. If you are prone to souvenir buys, give yourself a token rule. One useful household item under a set amount per trip is fine, but it must replace an existing item at home. One in, one out. No home for it, no buy. If a big item still calls you after all of this, take a clear photo of the aisle, rack, and bin, plus the tag and finish code. Go home, tape out the footprint on the floor and the height on the wall, and live with it until tomorrow. If the taped rectangle makes the room feel cramped, the real piece will too. If it feels right after a night and the measurements match, buy with confidence and skip the marketplace entirely on the return visit. You do not have to fight the store. You only have to change the defaults. Smaller container, measured space, one outside price, mid-trip audit, exit ranking, one in, one out, and a night to think for anything big. The path of least resistance becomes the path you chose, and that is how you keep the bill aligned with your plan.